Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GameStar TV for the Blizzard ANZ Heroes of the Storm Season 2 qualifiers. My name is Kit Fox, your host, and if you have just joined us, you have missed some amazing Heroes of the Storm. You missed Leighton Hewitt Fan Club going up against Trump Sports, who Trump Sports came out with a win on the Infernal Shrines. Jim Jam picking himself up MVP nomination. Then we went to Battlefield of Eternity, where City Walk took the win over Onyx United, and MKL picked himself up a MVP nomination into the GameStar MVP program as well. But now we're going to go over to Sky Temple, and if you have not just joined us, but if you have not familiarized yourself with the tournament format, we do run this over 5 weeks as opposed to 4 that we did previously. It's still the Swiss format, and we're only going to count the best 4 weeks. So you can afford to have one absolute tank of a week because we're only going to count the best 4. If you don't qualify, as in if you don't come first or second, there is still a lot on offer, plenty of giveaways as well. If you do manage to get a qualification, however, you will net yourself a minimum of $2,000. That's a minimum, with a potential $8,000 should you go first place. And if you do come first place, you'll then be flown to DreamHack to represent ANZ. At the moment, Nomia currently hold that title. They are the kings with the crowns on top of their heads. So who is going to beat them? In this week's 5 maps, we've got the Infernal Shrines, Battlefield of Eternity, Sky Temple, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Dragonshire. And all of those maps are chosen from the official Blizzard ANZ map pool. And you can view that at www.gamestar.com. So right now, we're going to see P5 versus Nomia, because last week and this week, Morton's List actually picked up a win over Nomia. Maybe P5 can do it this week. We're going to go to Sky Temple now, so once again, it is back to Skinny and Vandy for P5 and Nomia.
Yeah, P5 actually missing out on week number 2, although in week number 1, their performance is a bit interesting to try and actually break down and analyse. They lost to Leighton FC, but they beat Morton's List, so whatever you can garner from that would suggest that they're a bit of a dark horse when it comes to this competition, Vandy.
They're the one that you got to keep your eye on, Skimmy, and that's exactly why we're casting their match right now. We want to see how they go against heavyweights, Nomia. Are they going to pull out all the stops? Are we going to see another upset tonight? Let's wait and see what happens. And right off the bat, Zari is taken off the board. She is available for play. Her bug has been fixed, as we sort of touched on, and she's gone. And they instantly responded with that Tassadar band, showing that perhaps maybe P5 was favouring a bit of that hyper carry, and Valor actually indicates so. Maybe Nomi's done their homework. They're not wasting any time with this banning at all, Skimmy. I can barely get the words out with all the action going on.
Yeah, both enabling heroes taken off the board, as you already touched upon. So the heroes such as Valor aren't going to be as strong, but Nomia locking in Dahaka straight away means they have global pressure. Doesn't really give too much away in terms of what their strategy is, because Dahaka is a well-rounded hero. Doesn't really have the hardest of counters to go up against, but it does then mean that P5 has the pick of the crop when it comes to the assassins, like you already said. Valor and Leeming, quite rightly so, the kings of their respective roles.
Just snatched off the board right there. They made sure that P5 really want to narrow down the assassin pool, but every time they do that, we've always got Fat94 with that Zeratul ace up his sleeve. He brings it out anytime he sort of sees those juicy, sort of squishy, low health pool targets. And he plays Zeratul so well too, Skimmy. We've known what he can do with this. The Void Prisms, the positioning, the sort of psyching out with the Stealth Champion. Let's bring it on.
Well, I mean, when you open up with heroes like Valor and Li Ming, which are innately squishy, but their compensation is they do a ton of damage, Zeratul is the most attractive option when it comes to that drafting stage. He's going to be definitely hounding him when it comes to the laning phase, but even during those sort of rotations amongst the map for those different temples, always going to be hyper aware of your positioning and making sure you keep an eye on that glimmer. But with both enabling heroes in that support category taken away, Malfurion fits in quite snugly for that third and final spot before the next set of bans come about.
I really like that Malfurion pick as well, because they did put all their eggs into making sure that they took the assassins off the board real quick, but they didn't manage to secure either a warrior or a support. So there's really no hurry for Nomia to pick their assassins. They did choose a Zeratul. As you said, not giving away too much of what the rest of their comp's going to be like. And P5 now they're dipping into a bit of their ban time, and they've banned out little Probius.
Whether or not that's actually what they wanted, or if that's them being troll, I mean, you don't want to discredit it too early on, but we haven't seen a Probius ever since he's launched. And generally speaking, with ANZ, they're actually quite slow to uptake on new heroes.
I think it's really they want to see where he's at with testing the waters. As you said, we did have to wait a couple of weeks for Valera to show her face in a couple of matches. I think we saw her last week with great success. And I mean, with Probius, perhaps there's going to be another week before we see that. And it's a bit of that respect ban. They don't want any of the unknown coming their way.
Maybe somebody at Nomia has been practicing Probius only in Hero League.
I mean, you don't know, right?
Hopefully
Maybe
not.
P5 knows something we don't. But in saying that, Probius did actually receive a little bit of a damage boost as well. So he did get a couple of slight buffs. Blizzard wasn't quite happy with how he was playing out. But whether that was worth a ban, who knows? ETC and Jaina, again, really strong picks coming out. And on a map like Sky Temple, where you really are all focused around gathering the temples and fighting around them, AoE can be very, very advantageous. And I mean, with that Kerrigan, Tyrael is the perfect counter to any sort of huge AoE burst. With that Sanctification, able to nullify a lot of that, I mean, that's actually fairly smart by P5 to pick up.
I mean, this composition on the side of Nomia is all about synergy. When you hit level 10, that power spike is immense. Huge power play to make those big VPs into Ring of Frost. And somebody just gets popped and they get deleted, and there's little to no counterplay. Iceborne's really going to have to be on the money here when it comes to those sanctifications. You can see by them going for the Tyrael as well as the Brightwing that they were looking to find some way of either shutting down the Zeratul before you can even set up that kind of composition, or just, finding their own advantage, because they've locked in that Kerrigan in that final spot. They are looking to try almost like an Infernal Shrines comp, but on Sky Temple. So we'll have to see how that kind of all plays out as this map does load on up. But right now, if you're looking at the side of Nomia, this is a comp they've played time and time again. And if we're actually talking about the Zeratul in particular, he can gank any of these lanes with comfortability. There's a lot of CC and hard CC at that Zeratul can then follow up upon, and that's a lot of damage, and that's still a lane.
It's really all about enabling that Zeratul, exactly like you said, Skimmy, by making sure that they had that hard CC at their disposal. It just makes the ganking and roaming that much more rewarding and that much more easier. And I mean, Icebolt is a very competent Tyrael player. It is one of his favorite heroes. He has brought out Tyrael a lot. Whether his sanctifications, though, can be on point with what he's up against, there's a lot that he needs to nullify. Like you said, he really has to be on the ball, and he hasn't really done any favors for himself. But that's enough of the yarning. We can introduce these teams. I'll kick it off. I'll introduce Nomia on the red team, Fat94 on Zeratul, Arcana on Dahaka, Roboderbo on ETC, John on Jaina, and Vanilla playing Malfurion.
And on the left-hand side with the blue stripes, it is P5. Angel Beats subbing in as the support player on Brightwing. We've got Pesky on Leeming, Icebolt on Tyrael, Katori on Valor, and Penta on Kerrigan. Two extremely different compositions looking to rock different things. And if I was Valor or Leeming, I would be quaking in my boots, because look at that! The damage coming in straight, thick and fast. ETC with the double kill, and the follow-up from the rest of the team make that a triple kill. Jaina flaunting her taunts, flaunting her flair. And that's the exact setup that Nomia want to start this game off strong.
That was so much damage, and it's exactly as you said, when you've got a team that squishy, you really need to watch out, because Jaina, oh my god, Skimmy, look at the synergy going out right there. Nomia mean business tonight. They aren't messing around.
And Nomia have definitely come into this one with a new Zen on life. After losing that game to Morton's List, which one would question could be maybe down to them not being too familiar with the map, or even just underestimating what Morton's List brings to the table. They are coming in with a vengeance. They're looking for Icebolt now, which is quite angelic, quite tanky. But Vanilla, it does not matter. The entangling route prevents his escape route. And just like that, only a minute into this game, Vandy, and we've got 5 kills.
As I said, Nomia have brought their A-game, Skimmy. They are serious about this one. They're going to make sure that they pull out all the stops, exactly like you said, that entangling routes, making sure that no matter the amount of juking Icebolt is going to do, he had to go back over the gate, and so he's blocking every sort of escape path. They have all the CC at their disposal to do so as well.
I was just laughing in the bot lane because Arcana got ganked upon by Katori. He does have 50 essence if he needed to. He actually ran into the brush and dug to the other brush. So, the biggest juke he's ever made in his life that they weren't quite aware of, but he's managed to find their value in that as a regard, and, well, that does then tie us into our first temple phase now, Vandy.
Exactly. P5, they immediately commenced upon the middle temple here, but Nomia is definitely not going to want to give this without a fight. They're going to be looking to get those kills in once again, showing how much aggression that they can bring.
Aggression is what they're looking for. It doesn't matter if you body him or Fat94 still finds the damage. Malfurion was the one with the Moonfire to secure that one, and they take out Tyrael once again. That is their tank, if you view it in that manner. Ooh, Zeratul actually did get turned upon. Penta and Katori still following into that watch point, and they do get the very first kill on the board for their side. And that could be just enough for them to now set up for a double Shrine Cap.
That's great. That's exactly what P5 want to sort of bring the experience deficit back. But here we go. Nomia's regrouped. He's gonna collapse upon Pesky. It's so much damage, Skimmy. There was no getting out of that one.
The composition is just so ridiculous. You get the Power Slide guaranteeing the entangling roots, and when all is said and done, John gets the easiest combo of his life, Blizzard finding maximum value, and there's just no way to prevent it. Kerrigan now also getting taken out, Tahaka on his own, doing the work, taking the temple. Nomia they're playing it concisely, they're just playing it with absolute certainty.
There's no hesitation in the calls they're making either. Skimmy P5, they definitely got a lot of the temples out there, but really the team fight was a little bit all over the place, the coordination lacking there a little bit. And just the collapse that Nomia has as well, Pesky just stood no chance on the leaning with the amount of damage coming out. She was just caught completely off guard.
See Leeming nearly getting caught off guard a second time because Fat94 was coming around actually for a tower dive, looking to try and make things happen. Tahaka a little bit too low, getting revealed a bit too early on. Nothing's going to happen there, but he does spot an opportunity in the mid lane. Vala pop just like that. You're going to be so scared as a Vala when you're up against a Zeratul, and for that reason alone, you're not even level 10. There's just no opportunity for you to actually counterplay that. Even with Gloom at level 13, you're just so hyper aware.
We're definitely seeing the level advantage sort of creep up here with 2 levels now on the favouring side of Nomia. This is how it all starts, Skimmy. It's 2 levels, and suddenly it's 3 levels, and suddenly it's 4 levels, and then suddenly the game's gone. So P5 definitely want to sort of regroup and make sure that they're not falling too behind in that experience. They need to be able to push these lanes, but as you said, Fat94 is just being such a dampener, making sure that he can get such roaming presence with his ganks that he's bringing to each lane.
We talked about it during the draft. They have such good lanes for Zeratul to then complement by rocking up to gank with. But in P5, you have to really question this draft. They're also squishy. This makes it easy pickings for not only Zeratul alone, but even just for the combination where we've seen between the ETC Mouth and the Jaina. When it comes to level 10, I am just so scared when this Ring of Frost finds value, because those members are going to absolutely be destroyed.
I'm not looking forward to that. So, I mean, hopefully P5 aren't either. We just need to make sure that it doesn't snowball too roughly out of control. They can still pull this one back in, as you said. It's only 1 level behind now. And with the next temple up, Fat94's got some real aggressive positioning there and did a heap of damage to Penta right there just for checking the brush.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's actually no focus on that temple whatsoever. Right now, Nomia realized, hey, we're going to reach level 10 first. We don't need to actually run to this. If we can find more kills, if we can push more towers, we can do that because we've got such a big buffer of time before P5 hit that 10 window. Arcana was already doing work in the solo lane up against Pesky's Li Ming that actually forced out Angel Beats to teleport all the way to the top lane too. So right now in a 2v1, Arcana drawing so much aggro to his position. Easy picking for Nomia. They're going to hit 10. They've got the dream set up right now. And Vala gets taken off the board again.
I was just watching all of that, Skimmy, and it was amazing. Fat94 playing the mind games. Icebolt was there with Vala the whole time. He just kept jumping in, using the Vorpal Blade, and then teleporting back, then did it again until he could get the kill. It was just... I just didn't even know what I was watching. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, so unfortunate that they actually tried to collapse onto Pesky. Fat94 being forced to retreat. John doesn't completely collapse with his combo, and Vanilla whiffing the entangling roots gives him Pesky a big brace. But there comes the stage dive. Rob looking to jump in and cause some chaos, but the team is thinking on a different page. Maybe this is another kill. He does get away on 340 health. Ring of Frost coming through. A calamity of ultimates used, not really collected with. Finding the best of value. Fat94 now rocking up. It's 1 by 1. And, well, I mean, this could be the chance for P5 to respond. They really have to find fights when ultimates are down or when members aren't as a 5-man unit.
You could say Nomia misplayed that one a little bit with that power, with the stage dive, not really finding much value. Roboderba also getting really overconfident right there, just diving into sort of fortification sort of range with all members of P5 there. I'm not sure what he was thinking. It's just a cooldown blown. And forcing John also to blow his. So as you said, P5, if they can capitalize on this, it'd be great. But I don't think Nomia's going to make another mistake like that. They're just going to play it cool and just ensure that they continue to go to lanes and get all of that experience, soak it up as best they can, because they don't want to lose the level advantage that they currently have.
Yeah, I mean, when you have sort of opportunities between the talent tiers like this is really when P5 are wanting to try and make something happen. They need to force a fight, even if it commits every single member to picking off one component, because right now everything on Nomia is working together. all towards that sole objective, mass AoE impact. And if they do force the 5v5 straight on and dead on, they will lose every single time, because we've seen how it's happened, and we see what they're trying to do. And again, they're looking for Penta, they just jump into the things, they bait out the Rain of Vengeance, Arcana comes in with the drag, VP prevents any kind of Sanctification or disengage, and Rob's got the back line looking to try and prevent anything further. Sanctification does come out, does lock in Pesky for a little bit longer, but Iceball is running one way. Pesky's just completely bailed, he doesn't even want to have anything to do with this anymore. He looks to use the Disintegrate to take out the Gon's Twilight Dream, blasting Valor, and 2 members on P5 are gone. Nomia is running away at this stage. They're looking to pick up the rest of the pieces, saying, you are not safe. You know, you can't just disengage the fight. We will fight on our terms. Li Ming gone for free. And with this, you have to expect now Nomia to pick up the boss and just cement this huge lead.
They're going to get the boss, and then they're probably going to work their way to the bottom temple because they just happen to be in the vicinity. It's really their game. It's so hard, I guess. When you die around that boss pit, you really putting yourself at a huge disadvantage, especially if you're already behind. So P5 are going to be feeling that one, feeling the sting of that one. They can collapse on the boss, but then they have to give up the temple. So it's really a lose-lose situation for them here.
I mean, this is a solid situation right now for Nomia, because they've got the boss pushing. They've got Rod that has the stage dive if he does need to get out because he gets collapsed upon. They could potentially even leave Dahaka to go on the other temple, but right now it seems like he's just on pushing duties, and he's going to be extremely safe. Does not have to worry against a Brightwing in lane. The rest of the members, they can just sit quite standard and safe on this mid one, but it actually seems they're going to leave Mouth there. Jenna's going to come up with the rotate. Same with the Zerator, and they're going to look to try and take out that Brightwing for free. Polymorph comes out here, same with the Emerald Wind. And that is going to be enough tools used to prevent the gank taking out the solo lane. But I mean, these levels are creeping up. There's not really any opportunity for MP5 to really find.
And you can see Robodove has been a nuisance down in the bot lane the whole time. He's just trying to stall enough for this team to take the middle temple and help him down in the bot lane. This is the stage dive is available. They have all heroic ultimates available for use now.
Yeah, there goes the stage dive, trying to find some impact. They're going to go for the Ring of Force, but they jump into a Rain of Vengeance, followed by the Sanctification to prevent any follow-up from Nomia. Rob doing his best to try and stick alive. He's on 500. He's got the regrowth. Vanilla with the Twilight Dream prevents Iceball jumping onto him. Fat 94 makes sure he lives. VP on towards Pentas. Kerrigan preventing the blow-up that he was looking for. Lizard secures the kill, 4 for nothing. Nomia with level 15. And let's talk about those kills. We can't forget that 17 kills to 1 Vandy. It's an absolute bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath, it's a massacre, whatever you want to call it, Skimmy. It's happening right now. And it was so unfortunate because P5 got so close to taking down members of Nomia too. That Sanctification was huge. Great value coming out as well from Kerrigan's Maelstrom. But really, it shows the experience that Nomia has as well, Skimmy, by being able to turn that fight right on his head. They managed to clear the Sanctification immediately and then collapse again outside of it. Like, there's just such a well-oiled machine, Nomia. It's really nice to see them play, I guess. We always enjoy it, I guess, as casters.
I mean, the further this game goes on, the bigger lead that Nomia acquire. I mean, right now their composition is just so well suited. You could actually argue that they just completely smashed this drive out of the park, and P5 really had so little opportunities to try and find themselves back into the game. This composition, usually designated for a map like the Infernal Shrines, can find, I mean, in some cases, a little bit of value on this map, but a hero like Kerrigan is just going to scale so poorly in the late game, and when you've got the squishiest assassins in the game, which can look attractive when you pick them so early on, get countered so damn outright like this, and you have to be on full tilt mode. Brightwing does get taken out. Pesky now locked in with the root, trying to find a kill, but they can't collapse onto it. John down to 120. He's got the team support. They get the kills. Free gone. Teriel dropped. And now there's an exposed Keep banging on the window. Top lane. We've got the mercenaries coming in. They've got the vision wall from the scouting drone. Nomia just clean, and they're executing it to a T.
Nomia now going to push this hard because there's really only 2 members available of P5 on defense duty, and Katori getting dangerously low. Not sure if he wants to stay there. He could get taken out quite easily. It really needs to just watch out because Nomia are playing a very, very aggressive game and seizing every opportunity they can get. Huge Void Prism as well. Going out for the aggression. I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to follow up with.
Oh, this could be the fight that P5 are looking for, because that time the combination found no value whatsoever. Penda jumping in. He does get the combo onto Jaina. That's a good start and makes something else happen now. Fat 94 went in for Katori, but he just got away on such a small sliver of health. This could be the redemption. This could be the momentum swing. We are in a late game right now, 12 minutes in, where things can start to go different. Respawn time is creeping up to the 40-second regions, and that is a perfect time for them to find out, okay, there's only 1 temple shrine, so the momentum swing isn't going to be as huge. but that's when you really need to capitalize on the mistakes that Nomia can make.
That is a great fight right there by P5. Who would have thought that a little right wing ice block would have baited out John so hard, making the Ring of Frost exactly as you said, completely nullified, not finding any value whatsoever. But they're angry, they're all collapsing upon right wing for a second time now.
Oh, they're going to go for the stage dive to try and make it happen, but the team is ready in response. P5 doing a great job to keep that right wing safe. Sanctification was used to give the invulnerability. The rest of the team still in a hot pursuit. Arcana is looking to use things where he can. Adaptation to keep himself topped up. He does still have 50 essence available if necessary to pop. Saying, whoa, wow, okay, drag does come out. Sorry, I got myself really confused there. I was not too sure what was going on, but I tell you what is going on, a big fight is collapsing. Rand Avengers locking up 2 Bruises. Rob might be the first one to drop, but it's Tyrael dropping 2. Tanks across the board, flying around. Sanctification, or sorry, Tyrael Trade does collapse on towards John. He's not going to be too phased. Vanilla is still there for the supporting duties, does have the regrowth, and the drag is going to come out. As you can see, Arcana jumping into the fold of things. They're looking once again for the Tory. He does get the kill, and the VP this time, Vandy. Now I'm lost for breath.
VP goes right down, and this time it's Kerrigan who falls, as well as Brightwing. They're not going to fall for that ice block trick the second time around. Nomia were well prepared for it. I think that just made them angrier, the fact that they sort of stepped out of line in that other team fight towards the top keep. This time they pulled out all the stops. It was an extended team fight. Both tanks did fall very early on, but after that, it was a massacre.
Well, I've regathered myself now. We do have another boss being attempted, sub 20 by Nomia, who are in such a strong lead. 24 kills to 4. They've got all the levels, they've got all the structures, they've got everything working their way right now. But let's not forget, P5 have had some opportunities where they can get into it. Maybe not too many, but definitely when they come together as a strong unit, they can definitely deliver. But right now, it's just Nomia clinical finishing here. They're just not letting anything go amiss. They pick up the boss, they pick 2 kills, and with level 20 on the horizon, they can look to try and end.
They definitely can end, Skimmy, because with that boss uncontested, we've got a couple members down. Still, we're seeing the ultimates come across the board. This could be a win condition that we see right here coming out of Nomia.
Oh, the burrow was beautiful to dupe the Emerald win, but it wasn't enough for Zero2, who actually got taken him out on everything. Stage dive comes in, but predicted and telegraphed through the Rain Adventure, trying to lock him away. John does not have Ice Block. He's not going to use it. He's actually gone for nothing. He hasn't even taken his level 20 talent right now, and he could have so nearly just died to Kerrigan there, but the amount of trust and the faith that he's a good player was enough to get him out of harm's way. Ice Block used this time instead by the Malfurion, just preventing his death, but the Harker is going to get taken out amongst everything in the end. Rain of Vengeance, nowhere to be seen, but Ring of Frost is what is used, and Pesky, I mean, down to 100 health, does still live, really utilising the fact that she has dominance at 4 to get her health back.
I really love the defense put together by P5. They played so well. I thought this could spell disaster for them. Instead of dealing with the boss, they saw a total advantage, so a sort of fight where they could have advantage on Nomia, and they did take out team members of Nomia. As I said, they almost took out John as well, getting dangerously low with no ice block in sight, but they're in they're not out of the clear yet, Skibby. There's a lot of work that they need to do. It's good to see that every time Nomia tried to go in for one of their keeps, they've been able to rebuff them back, but it's not going to be able to hold forever. These fights are just going to get harder and harder. They need to be able to win team fights outside of their keeps as well, because the temples are just going to keep zapping them down otherwise.
Well, I don't know where this Brightwing is. She is in the middle of Africa right now. She just gets jumped upon. She actually phase shifts away. Have you ever seen a play like that? That is ballsy, aggressive, stupid. I don't know what you want to call it, but something happened there. Holy Ground is used, and the Ice Block is this beautiful Angel Beast. Beautiful. It's almost like saving Private Ryan, but it just does not matter. It was all in vain. Jenny gets a double kill. Stage dive comes in at the backline to prevent any further engagement. Valorie's drop. That's a triple kill now. Rob is on the hunt, looking for Pesky, being pesky on the Li Ming. Power Slide is up. He's just waiting so patiently to use it. Baits at the teleport. They do go and collapse. And, well, it's just Tyrael left for P5 right now. There is a Merc camp pushing in the top lane. Double Shrines available, double Temples available. So many opportunities for Nomia to win this game. And they might just go for it now.
They definitely can, with only one remaining member of P5 getting chased down by Vanilla nonetheless as well. When you've got a Malfurion chasing down, then it has to feel bad. Nomia going to close this one out with a very, very convincing win here, Skibby.
Yeah, I spotted Vanilla having a bit of a party there. Oh, actually went for the bolt into the Twilight Dream, but hits the ground. But alas, there we go. GG in favor of Nomia, taking round number 3. A huge performance by them and really asserting their dominance on a team that is definitely one to keep an eye on.
I really, really like the way both teams played it. I mean, I feel like P5, they could have been a little bit more cautious once they saw the Fat 94 pick. Everyone knows that it's his ace up his sleeve. You don't need to be feeding him more kills. You always have to watch out for those roams. But even as I said, I saw with Katori on Valor being escorted by Icebot, I saw him get picked up right under his nose by Fat 94. So that just attested Nomia's skill. And talking of MVP, Skimmy, would you like to start this one off?
Yeah, I mean, we have to give a big mention to Fat 94 on his Zeratul, doing a lot of work, as we touched on in the draft, complemented by the lane setups they have, but just the influence in terms of actually targeting those squishy heroes and causing them to have an absolute nightmare of a game. But in my eyes, it was a tough one between John and Vanilla in terms of their performances. I have to give a slight irking to Jenna. I thought that the combinations and the ability to really just burst heroes down before there was any response was what really took the crown for me.
I think I have to give it to John as well. Fat 94 definitely gets a commendation, as does Vanilla. They were so spot on with their plays. But really, John on that Jaina was really the outstanding player for me there. All those Ring of Frost as well, except for that one where he got baited out by the little Brightwing ice block, were pretty much spot on and perfect.
Regardless of it hit or not, it still had an impact. And for that reason, there we go, John. For round number 3 of week number 3, you pick yourself up the MVP nomination. But that's us for this one. Round number 4 coming up right after the break, but back to KitFox.
Thanks for that one, Skimmy and Vandy. Congratulations to Nomia for a dominant performance, but P5 fought back hard. They almost clawed their way back, but Nomia just holding too strong, picking up the win, and John picking up the MVP nomination into the GameStar MVP program. After the next match, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be drawing one of the Probius bundles, so !GS2Q into the Twitch chat if you haven't done so already. So don't go anywhere. We're just going to wait for a few more results to flow in, and then we'll be back with some more Heroes of the Storm action right here on GameStar TV.